the sounds of footsteps going up the stairs, and a doll that turns her head. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you more. Welcome back to the Brac Shop. I'm Tom from the shop, and I've got a story that I've been looking forward to present to you. It's Pollock's Toy Museum in London. It's so unique. It's not like an average museum. It's quite contained, and it's everything you'd expect from one of those mysterious toy shops. Now, if you like this episode, click the like button. And also, if you haven't subscribed as yet, or if it's your first time, please subscribe and click the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I do release a new video. And I've got a few coming up. Now, Pollock's Toy Museum. I just love this building, this establishment. It's everything you'd expect from a mysterious toy shop. And it has that feeling. A few weeks ago, I looked at another establishment of toys, but this one, Pollock's Toy Museum, has the feel of mysteriousness, and the toys, you can feel they've been loved and they have the energy there. Now, Pollock's Toy Museum originally started as a printing shop in Hoxton in the 1850s. And as well as being printers, they used to make toy theatres, the paper toy theatres. And these were very popular in the Victorian era with children and adults as well. And you could actually make them yourself, put them together and stage your own shows. And this was very popular. Now, Benjamin Pollock passed away in 1936, but the business was carried over by his children. And the shop ended up moving to Covent Garden in the 1950s. And that's where Margaret Foudry found them, and she started the museum there. In the 1960s, she ended up moving out because she just got too big and started her own museum in Fitzrovia, where it is still today. Located at number 1 Scala Street in Fitzrovia in London, just up from Oxford Street. Now, the building she chose was an 1880s building, and originally it was owned by a car mechanic. And actually, when you go into the entrance, you can actually still see the original parts of the mechanics on the back wall. The old telephone is still there as well. And when you walk in, you've just got this whole ambience of a mysterious toy shop. Just quite fitting. Some people have different views. It is amazing what you see there. I mean, you walk in and you think it's just a tiny little place, but it goes on. It's a bit like Alice in Wonderland or the TARDIS from Doctor Who. And I was actually fortunate enough to speak to Eddie Fordry, the grandson of Margaret Fordry, who started the museum. And he was able to tell me about the sounds of footsteps going up the stairs and the doll that turns her head. And I'll tell you about that shortly. But come with me now and I'll take you on a picture tour through the museum. And you've got toys from all the ages. Well, probably the last 200 years or so. And there's even one that goes back to about 4,000 years. So come with me and I'll take you through. The money boxes. We've got the money boxes where you can put the coins in, and in some, these are toys where you can actually put the penny down or the coin down, and it will eat your money or save the money for you. And we go up the stairs on our tour, up to the boys' room, where we have the toys mainly played with by boys, and the rocking horse, dating back to 1840. And then we have the optical toys, the zoetrope, circular disc that you spin around to create patterns, and the magic lantern, a forerunner to the cinema, because you'd put these slides in and they would project onto a screen and tell a story. And another version of the zoetrope, you could spin this around and you look through the slits and these pictures would come alive. And the stereoscopic viewers, very popular from the mid-1800s, where you could see pictures in 3D. And toys for the boys, mainly played with by boys, like the Matchbox cars, miniature cars. Other toys, a model of the anatomy, and of course the building toys. And the space toys, ranging from the 1940s onwards. Toy trains, cars, boats, and other toys. And noticed a lot made with metal back then. And one of the original pinball games where you'd shoot a ball up and play it as it comes back down. The Victorian board games. And one of our modern toys, Buzz Lightyear and Woody. And toys from around the world, like India, China. And we come to the room of puppets. Puppets from around the world. Punch and Judy, and this couple dating back to the 1970s. And Victorian paper games where you'd cut them out and put them together. And one of the oldest toys, an Egyptian clay mouse, dating back to 2000 BC, and you can move its tail and mouth. And the miniatures, they were done so well with so much detail. They were like the miniatures that was in the Miniature Museum in Lyon in France, where a lot of those miniatures were actually used as models in films. So much detail. And this dog, belonging to Cicely Roscoe, was born in 1878. And this is a wax Pierrette doll, given to a young actress with a bouquet of flowers over the footlights back in 1897. Now these two dolls, they're one of my favorites. They are so old, or should I say vintage. The stories that they could tell you, the adventures. And the one on the left, Caroline, dates back to 1822. And the one on the right, she's about the same vintage. And she actually crossed the Rockies in a wagon before the invention of cars. And 100 years later, made it back to England. And now, in her place in the museum. What fantastic stories they could say, they could talk. And this is Eric, probably the only and original surviving teddy bear, made in 1905. And Teddy, named after Teddy Roosevelt, the American president, who wouldn't kill a bear cub while he was on a hunting trip in Missouri back in 1902. And this is Frida and William. They've never been apart. And the bear, William, he dates back from around 1910. And with every museum, we come to the shop. And this shop actually used to be the cafe. Now, the shop, you'll find so many unique different toys here, and you can buy the paper toy theaters here as well. You can buy them and take them home, make them up, and have your own little theater show. The same exact styles that you used to be able to buy over 100 years ago. So that was Pollock's Toy Museum. Now, with all those toys and the energies that they had in that building, you'd expect a few strange things. And as I said, they have heard footsteps going up the steps, and they have that doll that turns her head. Now, they would hear footsteps going up one of the stairs, and they would have a look, and of course there'd be no one there, but they would have heard these steps. But on further investigation, they actually noticed that they were next door to the pub, and on the other side of the wall were identical stairs going up, and people from the pub would actually walk up the stairs, and that's the footsteps they would have heard through the wall, the pub's patrons going up the stairs. So unfortunately, there was no paranormal activity of people walking up those stairs. And as for the doll that turns her head, very strange. But they'd put her in her case, and she'd always turn her head around, facing the back. And so they'd remove the case, and it's actually quite a difficult case to remove from the way it's set up. And so they'd remove the case, straighten her head so she was facing forward, and put the case back on. And then they'd put the case back in its place, and then they'd go back, and her head will be turned around again. Very strange. But on further investigation, the head is made out of a heavy sort of metal, and the way it's been designed, the balance of the weight actually pulls the head down in a particular way. And putting it back into the doll, into the body, and putting it back on display, the angle and the weight of the head falls into a particular position, and it turns the head around. So no paranormal activity there. It's just the weight, the balance of her head that makes it turn around, and so she's looking to the back. So nothing paranormal. And speaking to another lady there that's actually been working at the museum for quite a few decades, she actually has said she has not felt anything unnatural in the whole building at all. So maybe they're all happy toys and happy dolls. Although when I was in the doll section, I did hear a child tell his parents, "Can we go now? These dolls are getting creepy." So maybe he was picking up on something. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you're in London and if you get the chance, do pop in and pay a visit. There's a small charge to go in, but it's not that much. And it's quite an experience. I totally enjoyed my time there, and I spent virtually a few hours looking around. And I hope you go, and I hope you enjoy it as well. And if you've enjoyed this, please click the like button. You'll help our channel grow, and tell your friends as well. And if you haven't subscribed, or this is your first time, please subscribe and click the bell, and you'll be notified when I do release a new video. And I'm working on the shop, a real shop, as in an online shop that should be open very soon. So you'll be notified of that as well. So I hope I see you soon again, and thanks for watching. Keep well and happy.